Yesterday, during the homily, Father James talked about the person of Jesus, one person with two natures, one divine and one human. And today we celebrate the divine part of Jesus, or the divine nature of Jesus. And so it's the Feast of the Transfiguration today. So we have Jesus is one person, God and man. And today we celebrate his godliness, if you will. In that first reading from the prophet Daniel, it's a prophecy about Jesus' kingship. And it's, almost a terrifying scene that he has in his vision. He sees heaven, and he sees like this courtroom scene, a throne of judgment. And God is sitting on this throne where there's fire coming out from it. And he's surrounded by thousands of people who are ministering to him, saints and angels. And then the book of the actions of man, good and evil, is in there too, coming to the God on the throne. And then they say there's this one like a son of man that's coming in. And Jesus always referred to himself as the Son of Man. So he's like the Son of Man, so he looks like a human, but he's more than that. He's also God, okay? His divine nature. And so he comes in and he receives kingship, and he becomes our judge. He's the one that, not just a regular king that lasts maybe 20 or 30 years if he's strong, but an eternal kingship, because he is God, and so he'll eternally be the judge for us. So it's an interesting vision that Daniel has, and again, frightening when you think about him being there seeing all this happen. And then in our gospel, Jesus takes Peter, James, and John. He goes up the top of Mount Tabor, and he's transfigured before them. And another way to put it is that he shows his glory to them. And the glory is like he shows his godliness to them. So they've been used to seeing his human side, but when they go up Mount Tabor, they see his divine nature, okay? And so there's his glory. And they're frightened and they're silent, in the face of what they're seeing. And Jesus is there with Moses, the great lawgiver. And Jesus is greater than that. And Jesus gave us the Beatitudes. He gave us his way, following his way, what he did. And it raises the bar on the Ten Commandments of what we need to do. And then Ezekiel's there, one of the greatest prophets of the Old Testament. He's there. And Jesus is there as the fulfillment of the prophecies of old for all the prophets in the Old Testament, much greater than the prophets because he's the fulfillment of what they talked about. And then there's the voice of God the Father there, who speaks from this cloud and say, "This is my beloved Son, listen to him." I mean, another very frightening scene for the apostles, to think about what they've just seen and gone through and try to digest and process that. And then in our second reading from 2 Peter, it's like he's hammering the message home. Peter's saying, and these are my words, "We're not making this up. This is something we saw with our own eyes. He really did transfigure in front of us. We saw his glory." And, hear what he said. He said, "This is my beloved Son. Jesus is the Son of God. Listen to him." Listen to him. And so today, on this Feast of the Transfiguration, we certainly need to listen to Christ. Think about all the things that he said in his words. But we also have to remember that as disciples, through our baptism, we believe that if we follow Jesus' way, that one day we too will share in his glory.